this belief that Article 370 was the root cause of all Jammu and Kashmir's problems, unfortunately, is not true.
Explain that, just expand on that.
I'll come to that. On the 5th of August 2019, when Article 370 was watered down and completely hollowed out, this country was told that separatism is a product of Article 370, terrorism is a product of Article 370, Jammu and Kashmir's seeming lack of development is a result of Article 370. Once Article 370 has gone, all these problems will be done away with. Here we are in 2014, we will be reaching the 5th anniversary of what happened in August of this year. Pockets of separatist support continue to exist. Terror on the ground, there is hardly a week or 2 weeks during which a terrorist attack in Jammu and Kashmir is not reported. Areas that were hitherto free of terror, particularly the hills of Jammu, Rajouri, Poonch, are now seeing militant attacks. I don't think there was a single targeted attack against a member of the minority community by militants when I was Chief Minister for 6 years. Today, that is a regular occurrence, unfortunately, in the valley. Those Kashmiri Pandits that we had resettled in the valley with government jobs and all sorts of other sort of packages are now screaming to be allowed to leave Kashmir and move back to Jammu. There's this whole belief that Jammu and Kashmir has suddenly seen new development. But when I ask the people who claim this, look, can you please point out a single new project that has come up in Jammu and Kashmir after Article 370 was watered down? There's not a single one they can point out. Now, I understand we have a railway line. But the fact is that the foundation stone for this railway line was laid when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister. Now, looking around at this audience, there are a fair number of young people here. I would hazard that some of you weren't even born when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister. That's how long ago the foundation stone was laid. So, I mean, this is not a product of just post 5th August 2019. You know, this entire sort of hawa has been created about tourism numbers. That suddenly, and I really want to get into this because this really gets under my skin. You know, I'm happy to praise good work when I see it, but at the same time, I reserve the right to call out rubbish when it's being bandied about as fact. You know, you're being fed this diet that suddenly tourists in Kashmir, the number has gone up to 1 crore plus from, I think, 15 lakhs or 16 lakhs was the number. You know, when I first heard this number, I was amazed. I really felt that the rest of us were hugely incompetent, that we weren't able to build this kind of tourism into Jammu and Kashmir. But then I sat back and thought, well, hang on. If the number of tourists coming into Kashmir has gone up from 15 lakhs to 1 crore 15 lakhs, where are they staying? Because I don't see any new hotels that have been added. No new guest houses have been built. Hardly any new tourism infrastructure has come. So are they staying under the flyovers? Are they sleeping in their cars? Are they sleeping in the airport? Where are they going? And then when you look at the way this tourism number is counted, it all makes sense. You know, as a policy, we did not count pilgrims as tourists. Because we found that people who came for pilgrimage very rarely went off the pilgrim track and became tourists. Particularly those who came for the darshan of Mata Vaishno Devi. Those who came for Mata Vaishno Devi's darshan, they would come to Jammu, arrive in Katra, go straight up to the cave, do their darshan, come back to Katra, go back to Jammu and leave. We could never get them to move even a kilometer left or right of the track to participate in any tourist activity. So we didn't count them as tourists. In the same vein, people who came for Shri Amarnath Ji Yatra, we wouldn't count them as tourists as well, because even though we knew a handful of them would go to Gulmarg and elsewhere, most of them would just come to Amarnath Ji, do darshan, and go back. But this government, as a sort of considered decision, thought that, okay, fine, let's count all of these as tourists. Now you get 1 crore plus Mata Vaishno Devi Yatris. You get 3 lakh plus Amarnath Yatris. And you have about 15 to 17 lakh tourists every year. That was the same number that was coming when I was Chief Minister. Add all this up, you immediately get the 1 crore 20 plus lakh that they say are tourists today. So where are the new tourists? They're not new tourists. They're just the same ones that are now, the categorization has been changed. Amarnath Yatris are also tourists, Mata Vaishno Devi Yatris are also tourists, and tourists are also tourists. And suddenly the whole country is told, देखो जी, 370 हटा, अब 15 लाख से 1 करोड़ 20 लाख तक हमने tourism पहुंचाया. Please, look, if you're honest with me and tell us that, look, this is what we've done, I'll be the first person to stand up and say, excellent, well done, good job. But if you're going to feed this nation a bunch of lies, then I'm sorry, I'm going to pick each one up and point out to you that this is false.